In the earlier videos on immunity, we have seen that we are continuously exposed to a variety of microorganisms, which may be bacteria, which may be viruses, which may be parasites. Many of them can cause disease. Such microorganisms are known as pathogens, and the diseases which they cause are known as infectious diseases or just infections. But we don't get these infections very commonly. The reason is that we have got a very competent, very efficient defense system, which is known as immunity. Immunity is made up of innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity can recognize most of the pathogens, it can deal with most of the pathogens. Adaptive immunity recognizes certain chemicals which are present on the pathogens or which are present in the pathogens. These chemicals are known as antigens. Majority of them are proteins. They are large molecules having a complex structure. So when our adaptive immunity, the cells and molecules which are responsible for adaptive immunity, find any antigen, the system becomes active. And in most of the cases, the immune system gets rid of the pathogenic microorganisms. Now, many chemicals which are similar to antigens are present in our body also. They possess all the properties of antigens except that they are not foreign chemicals. Our immune system acts very efficiently, very effectively against foreign antigens, antigens belonging to foreign pathogens, but it does not act on similar molecules which are present in our body. These similar molecules may be called as self-antigens. So, our immune system acts against foreign antigens. It mounts a very rapid, very effective immune response against the foreign antigens, but it does not act against the self antigens. Now, this property of our immune system not acting against self antigens is known as self tolerance. So, our immune system is tolerant to self antigens. Even if it comes across self antigens, it will not act against them. This self tolerance is partly because of the action of a type of T cells which are known as suppressor T cells. We have seen earlier that the T lymphocytes or T cells are of different types. One of the types is suppressor T cells. So they have some role in self-tolerance. They suppress immune reaction against self-antigens. But this is not the major mechanism. There is another mechanism which is much more important, which is responsible for self-tolerance. We have seen earlier that adaptive immunity is the function of lymphocytes. The lymphocytes are formed in the bone marrow from precursor cells, which are known as stem cells. Now, these newly formed lymphocytes have to be processed before they become active. And this processing can occur either in the bone marrow itself or it can occur in thymus. Those lymphocytes which are processed in the bone marrow itself become B lymphocytes or B cells, and they are responsible for humoral immunity. The lymphocytes which are processed in the thymus become T lymphocytes or T cells, and T cells are responsible for cell mediated immunity. And most of this processing of lymphocytes occurs during fetal life. The purpose of processing the newly formed lymphocytes is twofold. Number one, some of the newly formed lymphocytes may not be immunologically competent. They may not be able to perform their function. So if such cells are allowed to mature, they will be useless because they will not be able to perform their immune function. So one purpose of processing is to allow only those lymphocytes to mature which are immunologically competent, which will be able to perform their functions. And the second purpose is that many of the newly formed lymphocytes may recognize self-antigens, our own molecules. They can bind these self-antigens and they can act against the self-antigens. So such cells should not be allowed to mature, they should be eliminated. So the second purpose of processing is to eliminate those lymphocytes that can react with the self-antigens. So we will have only those lymphocytes which act against the foreign antigens and which are immunologically competent. The processing of T cells and the processing of B cells are different. Now first we will look at the processing of T cells or T lymphocytes. Now we have seen earlier that all the T cells possess a T cell receptor and a co-receptor. The co-receptor is either CD4 or CD8. In helper T cells, the co-receptor is CD4. In cytotoxic T cells, the co-receptor is CD8. So the T cell will possess the T cell receptor plus either CD4 or CD8 as a co-receptor. But the newly formed T cells, which are just developing, they possess T cell receptor plus CD4 plus CD8 also. So the genes for TCR, CD4 and CD8 are expressed in the developing T cells, and all these three proteins are present in the developing T cells or T lymphocytes. Now the T cell receptor and the co-receptor will recognize an antigen bound to a self-MSC protein. But some of the T cell receptors in the newly formed and developing T lymphocytes may not be capable of recognizing any self-MSC protein. And if they do not recognize the self-MSC protein, they will not be able to bind the foreign antigen or the foreign peptide which is bound to the self-MSC protein. So these cells which do not recognize any self-MSC protein will be functionally useless if they are allowed to mature. So only those cells should be allowed to mature that can recognize some self-MSC protein. The newly formed T cells which are just developing are first subjected to a process known as positive selection. During this positive selection, it is seen that if the T cell receptor and CD8 of the lymphocytes bind to some MSC1 protein, the cell will be allowed to mature. And this cell will mature into a cytotoxic T cell because cytotoxic T cells recognize MSC1 proteins and they have CD8 as a co-receptor. So if the TCR and CD8 of a developing T cell bind to some MSC1 protein, the cell will mature into a cytotoxic T cell, and then the expression of CD4 gene will be suppressed. So CD4 will not be synthesized by these cells. If the TCR and CD4 bind to some MSC2 protein, the cell will be allowed to mature, and this cell will become a helper T cell, because helper T cells recognize MSC2 proteins, and the co-receptor in helper T cells is CD4. So if the TCR and CD4 of the developing T lymphocyte bind some MSC2 protein, the cell will mature into a helper T cell, and then the expression of CD8 gene will be suppressed. So the cell will not synthesize CD8. The positively selected cells are then subjected to negative selection. In negative selection, it is seen whether the T cell receptor can recognize some self-antigen. The self-antigen will also be bound to some self-MSC protein. So if the T cell receptor binds to a complex of self-antigen and self-MSC protein, the cell is not allowed to mature. It is pushed into apoptosis, that is programmed cell death. So all the T cells which are capable of recognizing self-antigens, which are capable of acting against self-antigens, are eliminated by negative selection. So the purpose of positive selection is to select the competent cells, immunologically competent cells. And the purpose of negative selection is to eliminate those cells which can act against the self-antigens. The processing of B cells is different. We have seen that the B cells synthesize antibodies, and these antibody molecules are inserted in the cell membrane of the B cell, and these molecules are then known as antigen receptors. So these newly formed and developing B cells also possess antigen receptors which are inserted in their cell. Some of these antigen receptors may recognize self-antigens, they can bind self-antigens. So when a developing B cell recognizes and binds a self-antigen, either receptor editing will occur. This is one fate. The second fate of the cells is clonal deletion. The third is energy. And the fourth is immunological ignorance. So these are four mechanisms that are used against those B lymphocytes, newly formed B lymphocytes, that are capable of recognizing and acting against the self antigens. The antigens possess epitopes. Epitope is a small area of the antigen molecule which is recognized by the antibody. Some of the antigens have only one epitope, a number of epitopes, but all of them are identical. So these antigens are known as monovalent because they have only one epitope. Some can have two epitopes, some can have three, four, five, six, many epitopes. So the antigen may be multivalent. Multivalent means having multiple epitopes. So if a developing B cell recognizes and binds a self-antigen which is multivalent, which has got multiple epitopes, the gene rearrangement continues. We have seen that the complete gene for the antibody for light chain as well as heavy chain, is formed by gene rearrangement, joining of different segments. But if the developing B cell binds a multivalent self-antigen, the gene rearrangement continues, and it continues until the antigen receptor, which is actually an antibody molecule, is modified. And it is so modified that it can no longer recognize the self-antigen. So, by continuing gene rearrangement, the receptor is so modified or edited that it can no longer bind the self-antigen. So receptor editing is one mechanism by which the antigen receptor is modified. So here we have an antigen. This is an antigen molecule having one epitope, second epitope, third epitope, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So this is an antigen which is multivariate, having multiple epitopes. Sometimes when this gene rearrangement continues, there is an attempt to edit the receptor. Editing occurs, but self-reactivity is still not lost. In spite of receptor editing, self-reactivity is not lost. The cell continues to recognize the self-antigen. In such a situation, the developing B cell is pushed into apoptosis, programmed cell death. So the entire clone of self-reacting B cells is eliminated or deleted, and this is known as clonal deletion. The third fate or third mechanism is energy. Now, some of the self-antigens are antigens of low valency, having just one or two epitopes. If a developing T cell encounters self-antigen of low valency, the cell becomes anergic. Anergic means immunologically inert or non-reactive or incompetent. And how does it become anergic? The antibody molecule, which is going to be inserted in the cell membrane and which will be known as antigen receptor. This antigen receptor is synthesized in the cell, but it remains within the cell. It does not reach the cell membrane. So there will be no antigen receptor on the surface of the cell, and therefore it will not be able to recognize or bind the self-antigen. And this is known as anergy. And apart from this antigen receptor remaining within the cell, the signal transduction is also impaired in these cells. So we have an antigen of low valency here. This is one epitope, this is second epitope. So only two epitopes. The fourth fate or fourth mechanism is immunological ignorance. Some of the areas, some of the regions in our body are said to be immunologically privileged. These are immunologically privileged sites. And these are known as immunologically privileged sites because the antibodies and the immune cells cannot reach these sites. And these are examples of immunologically privileged sites. Brain is immunologically privileged. The antibodies cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. The posterior chamber of eye, the having vitreous, is immunologically privileged. Testes are immunologically privileged. Fetus in a pregnant woman is immunologically privileged. So antibodies cannot reach these sites. So if self-antigens are present in these sites, they will never come in contact with the antibodies. So the self-antigens which are present in these immunologically privileged sites will never come in contact with the immune system, and the immune system will remain ignorant of the presence of these self-antigens, and therefore it will not act against the self-antigens. So by these four mechanisms, the developing B cells which are capable of acting against self antigens are either modified, or they are destroyed, or they are made incompetent or inert. So the newly formed T lymphocytes are processed, the newly formed B lymphocytes are processed, and during this processing, the potentially self-reacting T cells and B cells. The T cells and B cells which are capable of acting against the self-antigens are either deleted, they are completely eliminated, or they are modified so that they no longer recognize the self-antigen, or they are incapacitated. They become functionally inert. And these mechanisms result in self-tolerance. Our immune system becomes self-tolerant. It does not act against the self-antigens. This mechanism of self-tolerance is sometimes divided into central self-tolerance and peripheral self-tolerance. By central self-tolerance, we mean the events that occur in bone marrow and thymus, where the cells are initially processed. And by peripheral self-tolerance, we mean the events that occur in lymphoid tissue or circulation. That is, when the B cells or the T cells reach the lymphoid tissue or circulation. But sometimes, in some individuals, self-tolerance is lost. And when self-tolerance is lost, the immune system starts acting against some self-antigen. This is known as self-reactivity. And when the immune system starts acting against a self-antigen, some molecules will be damaged, some cells will be damaged, some tissues will be damaged, some organs may be damaged. So disease will occur. And these diseases, which are caused by loss of self-tolerance, are known as autoimmune diseases. And this situation, this condition of loss of self-tolerance is known as autoimmunity. That is, our immune system starts acting against our own molecules. One mechanism by which an autoimmune disease can occur is that a self molecule may combine with, for example, a microbial protein, a bacterial protein, or a viral protein to form a new composite molecule. So, this composite molecule is made up partly of a foreign antigen and partly of a self molecule. And our immune system may then regard the self molecule as a foreign antigen, and immune response develops against the self molecule also. The self molecule will be destroyed. A second mechanism by which autoimmune disease can occur is that a self molecule, our own molecule, may have a close structural resemblance with a foreign antigen. We have seen in case of enzymes that every enzyme has got a substrate site which is meant for the binding of a specific substrate. But sometimes competitive inhibitors which have a close structural resemblance with the substrate can also bind to the substrate site of the enzyme. A similar thing can occur in immune system also. If a self molecule has got a close structural resemblance with a foreign antigen, then the immune cell or the immune molecule which is meant to recognize the foreign antigen can mistake our self molecule as a foreign antigen. So this self molecule or self antigen becomes the target of an immune attack because it has got a structural resemblance with the foreign antigen. So the self molecule will be destroyed and disease will occur. Some common autoimmune diseases include rheumatoid arthritis, which affects the joints, vitiligo, which affects skin, myasthenia gravis affects the myoneural junction, and because of this the muscles become weak. Alopecia areata is a disease that affects hair. In Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the thyroid gland is affected, it becomes abnormal. Systemic lupus erythematosus affects many tissues, many organs. Some other autoimmune diseases include autoimmune hepatitis, autoimmune vasculitis, multiple sclerosis, ulcerative colitis, and type 1 diabetes mellitus, and there are many more. In some of these diseases, the abnormality or the defect can be controlled. For example, diabetes mellitus or Hashimoto's thyroiditis. These two lead to the deficiency of a hormone. In type 1 diabetes, insulin becomes deficient. So this can be controlled by giving insulin. In Hashimoto's thyroiditis, hypothyroidism can occur. This can be controlled by giving thyroxine. In myasthenia gravis, we use the competitive inhibitor of cholinesterase. The condition can be controlled. In other diseases, we can use immunosuppressants like steroids and others to control and to suppress the immune response against the self antigens. But in some cases, treatment is not possible. Thank you.